Finn Collister in the comments, as well as we've got a spin there for the 94 of Jack Burgess on the outlap. Yeah, Finn Collister wishing all junior pro karts good luck. He's been over in this championship earlier on in the year. Ben Horner starts the day on pole position with Taz Groom alongside. Addison Smith and James Fabricius are on the second row. Callum Foster and Benjamin Gordon are on row number 3. Then it's Zane Kuwaker and Jared Fox-Whiteley, with Lewis Goff and Jensen Pritchard completing the top 10. Leon Barlow and Ben Adrian are on row number 6, with Jack Burgess, Freddie Lines, who had a big off in practice this morning, and then Sam Flynn. They come through then to take the green flag, and we're away, and I think we're rolling round. We are the front of the train, not in the tram lines, and the starter not at all happy as Ben Horner trims the grass here at Hooton Park. So drivers then will now need to make their way through and get themselves back into their starting positions. And you will have noticed in 8th and 9th place, the two championship protagonists going off positions quite close to each other. If you think 8th and 9th is nice and close, you wait till Heat 2 comes along when they're starting alongside each other on the front row in Jared Fox-Whiteley and Lewis Goff. Tight in that championship. We'll keep a lookout throughout the day as to how the points sit in that one. That one may well go down to the final corner of the final round at Ella Park. Into the tram lines they go. We're away and racing, and Addison Smith is going to come through. He's down the inside, and Addison Smith will lead. Then out onto the rumble strip goes Taz Groom. Everybody else down the inside. Lewis Goff is through. Jared Fox-Whiteley on the inside as well, the orange helmet. Racing here at Hooton Park only 3 weeks after breaking his thumb at Landau as he bounces over the curbs. The adrenaline basically just running through his body and just getting him through the race day as Foster goes wide. Kuwaker in the 44 comes through down the inside as he makes his first appearance here in the Junior Kart Championship, but it's a returning Addison Smith who will lead us over the line for the first lap of 8 minutes, plus 1 lap in this opening Minimax Heat number 1. Smith then leads from Kuwaker with Foster, Horner, Fabricius, Barlow, Goff, Groom, and then Fox-Whiteley in front of Ben Adrian. They're going to be 3 wide. That's Burgess, I think, on the inside in the green helmet, making the move down the inside of Benjamin Gordon, I believe. We'll keep an eye out on everybody else. So your two championship protagonists are still nose to tail now in 7th and 8th place in terms of track. Kuwaker closing in on the back of Addison Smith, takes 4 tenths out, and then a very late move to the inside. Smith has to be compliant and is so, and Zane Kuwaker moves through to take the lead. Smith then slotting in behind in 2nd place. Foster 3rd. Horner, Fabricius, Barlow. Then it's Goff and Fox-Whiteley in front of Adrian and Burgess. Your top 10. Is there anything that Smith can do to stick with Zane Kuwaker? At the very least, it's going to drag him along to a very, very comfortable 2nd place. If the speed from Smith to Kuwaker is anything, they can just start moving away together. Then there's Callum Foster, a driver who I've been very, very impressed with in these last couple of rounds and who's shown some great improvement, running in 3rd place and looks like he belongs there at the moment with Horner behind, although Horner's going to get a good run round the 2nd corner and the move's going to be done by the time they go into the turn 3 hairpin. Foster's going to get the cut back, but then that does then put him on the outside behind Oliver Fabricius, who took a great victory in one of the heats at Landau a few weeks ago. Then it's got Leon Barlow, Lewis Goff. Ben Adrian has found a way past Jared Fox-Whiteley. That's put Adrian up into 8th place, Fox-Whiteley down into 9th, and they are some 2.5 seconds off the back of this train of karts, which has now got Ben Horner leading the train from 3rd, effectively all the way down to 7th, although the gap is a second between Fabricius and Barlow, although there's contact there between Oliver Fabricius into the back of Callum Foster. Foster lives to fight another corner, but then that might not do the front fairing of Oliver Fabricius any good, and if that's dropped down, that's 5 seconds, and that is not a debatable 5 seconds either. It's not something that's up for discussion at the end of the race. If your nose is pushed in and dropped down, that is a 5-second penalty without question. Goff has found a way past Leon Barlow, and that moves him up into 6th place for Lewis Goff. look over his shoulder. A big point forward from Lewis Goff. He wants to go forward and he wants to drag Leon Barlow with him, and will also need Barlow as well to be very compliant. Doesn't want to get bogged down in a battle over 6th place when he thinks that there's a battle for 3rd to be had with Horner, Foster and Fabricius in front of them. Then there's a gap back. It's comfortable between Adrian and Fox Whiteley. Burgess is there as well with Gordon, Pritchard, Flynn, Groom and Freddie Lines. This is the corner where Fabricius had it lined up on the previous lap, but then couldn't get alongside the 69 of Foster into this hairpin. Can't get alongside him either on this lap. In the background though, Goff closing in on Fabricius. On the previous lap, the gap was 0.8 of a second. Let's see what it is, because on track it certainly looks a lot closer than that, as we see the drivers in the background making their way through. The driver in the orange is Sam Flynn. Over the line they come though. This is where we need to see now. Fabricius gets to the inside of Callum Foster. That's going to be good news for Goff, because that's going to slow Foster down, and it has done. And that's going to allow Lewis Goff not only to get a good run, but he may well get a move done into this hairpin. Not quite close enough for Lewis Goff, but he's going to have that one lined up. We'll try and run all the way around the outside. Slots back in early doors though. Knows he can't run all the way around the outside of there. I wonder if we'll see a move at all today that works, that involves drivers going all the way around the outside. But that's going to allow Lewis Goff to close right up. As they went over the line, it was 0.6 of a second, and in the blink of an overtake, he was there right on the back of Callum Foster, and now moving through for 5th place. Will Barlow get through as well? He can't. He's still right on the back though, and now we'll dip out of the slipstream of Foster as they head down towards turn number 3. That in doing so, those opened up even more of a gap to Lewis Goff, who is now on the back of Oliver Fabricius as they head into through the chicanes. And over start finish for your leader, Zane Kawaka, with a gap of 2.3 seconds. Now Goff is going to come to the inside of Fabricius, and through goes Lewis Goff for 4th place. In front of them, Ben Horner has closed right up on the back of Addison Smith for 2nd place. And now Goff, even with a quick look over the shoulder at Fabricius, because he knows Fabricius has got the pace to stick with him, as we certainly saw at Landau when we had at least 5 drivers battling it out right at the front throughout most of the race day. We're very, very conscious as now Ben Horner goes to the inside of Addison Smith. Smith once again not wishing to get embroiled, potentially understanding here that needs the points. You don't win trophies in heats, you win them in the finals. There's no point getting involved in incidents that are going to send you down towards the back of the grid in your races, and then you're not going to have enough points to put you anywhere near the front in the final. So just sticking here with Ben Horner. The gap back to Lewis Goff is probably enough that Goff's ascension through the field will stop at 4th place. The gap to Addison Smith, some 3 seconds, as Goff does it, though, puts in a personal best. So the gap, when we get it confirmed on the screen, is 2.5 seconds, which in 3 laps is going to be a lot for Lewis Goff to close in. But nonetheless, his only real race out there in this Minimax class is with the driver of the 22, Jared Fox Whiteley. They're the 2 drivers that can win the championship in this class here in JKC. Whilst they're out there racing 13 other competitors, the race is really just between Lewis Goff and Jared Fox Whiteley, because now we're at the business end of the season where there's a championship to be won. That's all they need to be looking out for each other, and Fox Whiteley's dropped down into 10th place behind Jack Burgess. Burgess up into 9th, Fox Whiteley then in 10th place. So the positional swing between Lewis Goff and Jared Fox Whiteley is at least 6 points between the 2 of them, from 4th down to 10th place as it is at the moment. Kawaka, fastest lap of the race with a 36.8 as he begins the final lap here of Minimax heat number 1. The gap back to Horner, 3.6 seconds. Then there's a Bit more of a gap back to Smith. Now Lewis Goff is having to go defensive because Leon Barlow has found a way past Oliver Fabricius, and now Barlow, who was with Lewis Goff in the early phases of this race, now smells a 4th place. Out of the final corner, though, will be your race leader. He's so far down the road, we've only just caught him taking the checker. Here's Zane Kawaka. Horner's going to get second from Smith. Goff looking over his shoulder all the way down the straight to make sure that Barlow isn't going to get the run. Then as they come over the line, it's going to be Fabricius, Foster, Adrian Burgess and Jared Fox-Whiteley completing the top 10 in front of Benjamin Gordon, Jensen Pritchard, Sam Flynn, Taz Groom and Freddie Lines in 15th place.